G'day and welcome to the first edition of the Footy Show.
21st season of existence.
Welcome back to Turn It Up.
Hello and welcome to the Sunday Footy Show. Get fired up.
The wait is over, and let's kick it off now.
Oh, how good's that?
Oh, look at that!
These women are creating history.
Get that into you.
Champagne Rugby League.
Reece Welsh will seal it for Brisbane. Cleary, who punches through the middle. Nailed! Got it back to Gunderson. How about that? Everyone is on their feet. Troll's going to go back to that. What a kick! Tackle of the century. Here goes Nico.
Got one person sitting.
Munster's got it. There you go.
Oh, yes.
Ponga, yes. How have they done this? The crowd roar. This is what you live for as a footy fan.
Hello and welcome to the Sunday Footy Show. Hope you're having a great morning. My goodness, haven't we seen some incredible footy across the weekend? It is Beanie for Brain Cancer Round as well, so lots to celebrate. With us, as always, on a Sunday morning, Brad Fittler,
hello, Emma.
Andrew Johns and Billy Slater. How are we all?
Excellent.
Well,
Now, Joey, we're going to grill you first up, okay? Hope you're ready for this. Now, you on Friday night jumped to the defence of Billy Slater. No, you were trying to help Billy when Brace was grilling him about Kalen Ponga going down and said, leave him alone. However, we've dug through the archives and it turns out you, on this very couch, have been peppering Billy week in and week out. So let's take a look at this.
That's one thing you do have, depth at fullback. You've got plenty of options up.
Look, he's prying. Look at him. You're on a current affair or something. Who are you going to play fullback, Bill?
Channeling a bit of Gus.
Come on, mate, leave him alone.
Channeling
A lot of the talking point after the game, Bill, was DCE, whether it's his time's up. What's your thoughts on that? I'll throw some names at you, just quick sentence.
Okay.
Josh Papali'i. Is he retired? Is he retired from Origin?
He retired, yeah.
Oh, he's retired. Corey Horsburgh.
Yep.
Yeah. So he's on the... It's something like Dane Gagai, the experience of Gagai and coming at it.
Look, all things are thought about.
Some of the experienced players, especially in the spine, Cameron Munster and also Harry Grant. Have you spoke to them about selection?
No.
Come on, mate, leave it alone.
Channeling,
One of us.
I love that you're asking the questions now. This is great.
A current affairs very own Andrew Johns.
Yeah, that's why they're feeding me peanuts here. Paying me in peanuts. The elephant man here.
Yeah.
Sorry, Bill.
No, they were all
Okay.
they were genuine questions.
So who are you going to pick it for?
I'm going to play fullback.
Oh, no. Pick the others. We don't want
For
you
3
playing.
minutes anyway.
We will get into that. We've got a big show coming up, of course.
Absolutely essed my pants then. I'm like, not again. Oh, camera crew's outside the house for a week.
No, we wouldn't do that to you. We're a little bit mean, but not too mean. This is what is coming up on the Sunday Footy Show this morning. Of course, the big news across the weekend is that Kalen Ponga has been ruled out of the Origin decider. Joey is going to grill Billy on a possible replacement, Reece Welsh or the Hammer. Club footy has been incredible over the weekend. The Panthers and the Bulldog produced potentially the game of the year so far. The great Billy Peden is in for the award-winning segment Turn It Up, and some fresh junior footy stars from the Gosford Carryong Storm are in for a special edition of Freddie's Pass Off. But let's take a look at the results so far from round 17. We've had some incredible footy. What a win from the Dolphins, and Isaiah Katoa just went to another level, if it was possible, 50-28 over the Rabbitohs. The Dragons held off a fast-finishing Eels outfit despite a number of injuries to their side. The Broncos got the job done against the Warriors, and the news gets worse for the Warriors with an ACL injury to Luke Metcalf. The Knights couldn't get it done against the top-of-the-table Raiders. The experiment with Tom Trbojevic so far paid off. The Seagulls getting the job done over the West Tigers. And the Panthers, 4 in a row. I think it is safe to say now that they are back in the top 8. So, Billy, take us through the ladder as it stands so far through round 17.
Well, Emma, I'm going to start at the top, and I'm going to spend a bit of time acknowledging the team that is leading our competition, the Canberra Raiders. Now, what a turnaround. 2 years ago, Jack Whiten decided to leave the Canberra Raiders, and we all thought about this rebuild. The rebuild hasn't taken too long, and they're sitting at the top. They've got an incredible run home. Only 10 weeks to go. They got 2 buys in that. and they play 2 top 8 teams, the Panthers and the Dolphins. So they could be looking at their second minor premiership since their inception, and that was in 1990. So we all know what happened that year. They're doing some great things, the Raiders. We've got the Panthers and the Dolphins in the top 8. There's a big game this afternoon. The Cowboys, they play the Titans, and that's a huge game. The Cowboys trying to stay in touch with the 8, and the Titans trying to get off the bottom of the ladder. And the Storm play the Sharks as well. So that's what the top 8 looks like.
Lots to look forward to for the rest of the weekend, but lots to celebrate across the weekend so far. So to kickstart our Sunday salutes, we're going to celebrate Beanie for Brain Cancer Round, and an incredible weekend it has been so far. Over $2 million raised. It's been so great to see the fans get out and buy their beanies, the players walking out with them as well. We had the big 3 trekkers walking 150 kilometres from Sydney up to Newcastle for that Friday night game. And a very special shout out to Scott Hingston as well, who actually ran from Melbourne to Newcastle to raise much needed funds for the Mark Hughes Foundation. So a big round of applause to everyone who has celebrated across the weekend. It's not too late to go and buy your beanie. You can get them from IGA, Lowe's or Woolies as well. I believe they're sold out online, but you can get the old ones as well. And Freddie, you have an old one. So.
I do have an old one. I have one from every year.
Yes.
They do a great job. Great beanies too. And I think the cold weather just came through at a perfect time. It's been freezing over the last week.
It has. And what's your salute?
Well, my salute is something to do with the weekend that's happening at the moment. And you meet some really smart people in our game, but every now and then you come across a genius. And that genius is Mark Hughes. Just listen to Mark Hughes.
Hey, Freddie.
About 3 weeks ago, it just started to fall apart. Can you explain that?
That's because you've had the beanie for 10 to 11 months. Our beanies are designed for everyone out there to last 10 to 11 months, and unfortunately they fall apart, and you're required to replace them with a new one.
Lucky
so
I bought...
just, there it is, the 2025 beanie.
Lucky I bought the new one.
Legends, Freddie.
Too smart, Boozy. Too smart. Got us again.
Do you know what? There was a moment where I did believe you, because at first I thought, that's rubbish, why would they do that? And then when you kept going on about it, I thought, maybe they really do that.
He's a funny man. I was talking to him the other day at the launch, and the little gag come up, so I thought I'd expand on it. But he does an incredible job. He's been at every game. He flew up to Brisbane yesterday. He'll be at today's game. So, what he does, the energy it needs to promote what he's doing, and because he believes in it. But he's an incredible fella. So proud that he has such a big part of our game. So good on you, Mark, and everyone who's helping out.
And don't be tight, everyone, even if you do have one of the old beanies.
They mightn't necessarily fall apart.
They might be in great condition, but please go out and get a new one. Billy, who are you saluting this morning?
I'm saluting some little men in our game that aren't noted for their tackling, but come up with some try savers. And it all started on Thursday night with the Bulldogs fullback, Connor Tracy, putting his body on the line a couple of times to come up with some try savers. This was the last play of the game. Tom Jenkins, he's doing a great job at the Panthers and comes up with a try saver there. Tamade Martin on Reece Walsh, gets over the line, all but got the ball down, but gets his hand in there. And this guy here, he's been doing it for a decade, Roger Tuivasa-Sheck. Just the small men in our game coming up with some big moments, try-saving tackles and game-saving tackles. So, saluting the little man.
During Connor Tracy set the standard from the start of the week, I feel like this week the footy just went to another level. Real desperation, especially saving
Absolutely.
tries.
I think that game set the standard. That was a tremendous game. We'll get onto that a little bit later in the show. But I think Connor Tracy's setting a lot of standards at the Bulldogs. His effort, his courage and his commitment to putting his body on the line. You see the smallest guy in your team do that, well, everyone's got to follow suit.
He's good.
He's good.
He's good.
I tell you who else is good. Isaiah Katoa. I was sitting there watching last night thinking, Joey, he's going to be up out of his seat.
Well, normally I get very excited on a Saturday night, but last night I was even more excited watching this absolute young champion go about his work. I just can't believe how good he is at 21. If you think of all the great halfbacks over the years, this guy, what he's doing at 21 is so far in front of everyone else. He moved from New Zealand to Australia when he was 9, so he qualifies for New South Wales, but he wants to commit to look at that. The next 10 or 15 years watching him play for Tonga, where the international game now is going to be a genuine, where there's half a dozen teams who could win the World Cup. And this guy playing for Tonga, Izzy Katoa, with the likes of Fanua Blake, Keon Kalamatangi, Taumalolo, Olakau'atu, Eli Katoa, Fini Fuiaki, Mo Fatawaka. How would you like to play against that team? But
no, thank you.
Stand and applaud. Understand he's in Origin camp this week, so he'll get in and around Nathan Cleary and see how he prepares. But when Nathan finishes up, he's the next one in.
On top of that, he's a tremendous lad. Like, he's the captain at 21 years old.
Did you see his interviews before and after?
I've actually interviewed him. He's a really mature young man. He handles the situation. He's not just a talented player. Like, he's a real leader of that footy team. Sits at the press conference with Christian Wolf and answers the questions. That footy club is going somewhere if they're going to hold on to him. Yeah. Do you think the game at the moment is helping his style?
Totally.
Like the way that he goes to the line and pumps the ball, and then players hold off him because they know they can't hit.
You can't get whacked.
Well, you look at the Metcalf situation, Metcalf and Piakura. So this is him here. Just look, Kepi there. He actually pulls out of the tackle thinking, I don't know if he's passed it or not, knowing the game is actually protecting these ball players. And the Metcalf one with Piakura, he actually commits to the contact and then goes through with it and tackles the guy. I think the ball's probably half a metre, a metre away when he makes that contact. And that was actually put on report. I'd be very surprised if that was
it's gone
suspended.
Over the top.
And look, like Metcalf's obviously, suspected ACL, which is a terrible injury, but that wasn't from the tackle. That was just an unfortunate accident.
Well, in years gone by, if you went to the line and tracked a defender, you're going to get whacked. And that's what made Alfie so good. That's what made those players so
look,
good.
Kieran Foran.
Kieran's the same.
He was a machine. He used to get whacked every game multiple times and still playing.
But getting back to Katoa, it's a privilege to watch this young man play. I just blown away every time I see him.
Given his level now, how many more levels does he have?
Well, he's going to get better and better. His running game's going to get better. I hope and pray he doesn't get too many bad injuries. But where he can get in the game, he could be.
He don't look fragile at all. Like I feel like
he's 93 kilos.
Yeah. No, he's not fragile at all. And you watch the way he defends strong. I do think though he's brought something new to the game with the way he's playing.
Well, they're copying the way he
everyone's
plays.
Copying. So I think you'll find there'll be an adjustment. Maybe there'll be an adjustment. You look at the Kepi and his uncertainty as he's coming towards the halfback. And you showed the example of the Brisbane player, Piakura.
Yeah.
So, whether that sort of changes a little bit in the game, that middle forwards are more confident when they're sort of...
Well, it's gone too far, the protection of halfbacks, especially the kickers.
One thing with young players, and Isaiah will have to do this, he'll have to evolve.
Keep adapting.
It won't take teams long to work out what they're trying to do and how they're deceiving their ball playing ability and what they're trying to do there. They'll work it out. So he'll have to be in front of that and evolve as that gets taken care of.
His running game's improved this year. That's one aspect.
And his kicking game's great. If you watch his kicking game, he's so composed. He very rarely misses his target, his depth and all that. So that part of his game, really the base part of being a halfback, he's got down pat. So I don't think he'll ever drop, but I feel like teams will start working him out a bit and he's going to have to, like Billy said, just start keeping improving, looking for different ways.
I think Izzy and Nathan Cleary probably will be fanboying over each other in Origin camp this week as we continue our countdown to the Origin side in a week and a half now. Live, free and exclusive here on 9 and 9 Now. The teams will be announced later this evening. As we mentioned a little bit earlier, the big news over the weekend has been that Kalyn Ponga has suffered a Liz Frank injury, so unfortunately has been ruled out of the decider. So before Joey starts going all a current affair on Billy and probing as to who his replacement will be, first off, Billy, just can you take us through the reaction when you found out, and I assume you spoke to Kalyn as well, that he has been ruled out?
Yeah, well, I saw it. I actually called the Knights Canberra game, and I actually saw it live. I kept it a bit quiet. They'd scored a try, Canberra, and I could see Kalyn in the background. This was the incident here. He plays the ball, and then he sort of just stays in that position, hobbling around. Canberra get the ball off that very next play and score a try, and he didn't get back into the in-goal for a while. He was with the trainer and doing some hopping movements. So I knew there was a real concern. And Caelan's been carrying a bit of an ankle injury. He's got his knee strapped there. He's been banged up a little bit. So, look, my first thought goes to the player. I know how hard he's worked to get himself into the position he's in. And, you know, there's a big game on Wednesday week and, you know, Caelan's not going to be there. I spoke to him on Saturday. He was very dejected and sad about that realisation. But then the team moves on to look for a replacement.
Are you going to answer the question?
Yeah.
Answer the question.
You have to. It says Walsh or Hammer.
Walsh or Hammer in.
Options.
Oh, that's no answer.
He told me Walsh before.
Oh, look, at the end of the day, we've you know, there's two games.
Reece Walsh, he said no, Mike Walsh.
There's 2 games played today, and you know, from Game 2 squad, there's 9 Queenslanders in those 2 games. So, you know, the first thing is to be patient and making sure that we watch those 2 games, sit down as selectors this evening and put together Queensland's best footy team. Obviously, you know, it won't be the same as Game 2 with no Kalyn Ponga there. So, yeah, we've just got to be patient.
As much as it is a headache, I guess, it must be such a luxury sitting back, watching both of those games yesterday and see both Reece Walsh and Hammer both kill it.
Yeah, absolutely, and they're both great players. You know, I've worked with both of them closely. They both bring plenty to their footy team. This guy here has made a huge difference to the Broncos since he's come back from injury.
Any concern about the injury, the knee?
No, I thought he moved quite well yesterday. And the thing with Reece, he's dangerous with the footy in hand like there, but he's also dangerous by bringing others into the game. And we all know what he brings. And Hammer's the same. Hammer's doing a wonderful job in the 1 jersey at the Dolphins as well. So, like I said, it's just about being patient, watching the lads go around this afternoon and then putting Queensland's best footy team together.
He killed us 3 years ago. In his first year, he was brilliant. And watching it back, he was like, you know what? There was a pass he threw on the right-hand side, and I think Selwyn scored. And you know what? He had no time. So had someone jamming in, he threw this cutout. It was just perfect. Like, it was undefendable. So there's a lot to his game that he's got to do. New South Wales, when they're on, they're going to put a lot of pressure on him with their kicking game, but sometimes his brilliance is nearly undefendable.
Reece's style of play suits Origin better than Hamiso at fullback. He's unpredictable, the way his running game. I think Hamiso relies on other people. He gets the ball off supports, where Reece can do that, but he can also create, absolutely create. One thing they don't talk about Reece is he's tough. He gets whacked just because he's so pretty. No one thinks he's tough. He's as tough as they come.
And
so did you answer the question?
The question will be answered tomorrow morning. Can you wait till
You'd be
tomorrow
such
morning?
a politician. You'd be a good
Walsh should be number one.
I'll be like Mel Meninga as a
You'd
politician.
go Walsh.
I saw his
You can do it,
phone.
mate. You can do it.
You
I saw his phone. I saw his texting. I won't say what I saw on his Google search, but he had Reece Walsh number one.
There we go. Well, we'll have to wait and see, hey?
Yeah.
Few other
I didn't see his phone.
A few other whispers around Josh Papali'i that
He's
the
retired.
chance, yes, he announced before the 2023 series, of course, that he's retiring, but there are some whispers. There are always whispers, but that you might send I don't want to say an SOS, but a call out to Big Papa off the back of his incredible form for the Raiders. Is there any chance that will happen, or is...
Well, the thing is, when it's easy to throw names up because you're throwing names up, but when you've got to actually take names out, that's the hard part. The one thing about Big Papa at the moment is there's a reason why the Canberra Raiders are sitting at the top of the ladder, is because players like Josh Papali'i are doing a great job for them. A lot of his teammates are as well, but he's playing some of the best footy I've seen him play for a few years. But again, all this stuff is just chit-chat until you actually sit down with the right people and build the best team possible.
Must be torturous sitting here.
I quite enjoy it, Joe.
Okay. Well done, Bill.
Well done. What about the Blue?
Any time with the 8th is good time, mate.
Exactly.
If anyone can grill him, it's you. Come on.
Making up answers is fun.
Been doing it for 51 years. Old Pinocchio.
What about for the Blues, Nathan Cleary? Obviously, we saw on Thursday night, didn't seem... I mean, he had an incredible game, still not goal kicking, so he's clearly not 100%, but you wouldn't have any issue taking him in as long as he just same thing, just don't let him goal kick.
Well, the thing was, which was impressive, was he was kicking. And I think not only for Penrith, but also for New South Wales, they need him kicking because doing all the general play kicking. I think they lost Liam Martin out of the game, Stephen Crichton. They didn't know what to do, they weren't involved. Normally their whole game is about kicking and chasing and putting pressure on, and they do it fantastic. Like they won 3 competitions on the back of that alone. Like that's the big part of their game. So seeing him kick was the only thing that says that he's ready to go.
And he kicked to the right side. He wasn't hooking it back. He kicked to the side where Liam Martin and Stephen Crichton will be. It was
bore you to death.
That was like an Origin performance from Nathan Cleary. What you do to drag your team over the line when they're on the back. They're on the back foot for 60 minutes. They are an incredible team. They just hung in, and then he came up with the big play, the charge down. This was just absolutely as high a standard of footy as you could watch.
So the 3 games that they've played in amongst, they've won 4 in a row. They won the one in the Warriors without all their players. But the 3 where they've played, they've completed over 86%. So 86 was the worst. So they do, they just drive you mad. They just stay in the game. And to be able to complete like that, you need to be organised so players aren't confused and, you know, helps them with timing and everything. Nathan just sets everyone up and off they go, and they all just contribute, and it's hard to stop. It's hard to beat because you're coming off your own line all night. That's what Origin's like. Origin's the best Origin games you're completing at 90%. Every time you get the ball, you're on your own try line.
So Jerome had a blood infection from an infection.
A boil.
How long do they take to settle down?
No, he'll be right.
They're saying he'll be right.
Okay.
But if not your man, could step up?
Oh, no, I think they'd go Burton.
Okay. Have to wait and see, hey? Grill Joey on that a little bit later. Philly's been grilled enough for today. We're going to talk a bit of club footy after the break. An epic doubleheader at Suncorp Stadium it was yesterday. 100 matches in the NRL for the Hammer and 4 tries to go with it. And a great win from the Bronx as well. See you in a sec. 100 matches in the NRL and 4 tries to go with it. 50-28 the final score for the Dolphins and Billy Slater. Whether it was the Hammer, whether it was Isaiah Katoa, whether it was the forwards, there was just so much to love about this performance, considering as well the calibre of players that the Dolphins are still missing.
Yeah, and you know what, internally they won't be talking about any of those individuals because it is a collective effort. There was a little hiccup last week in Perth against the Newcastle Knights, but the month of footy has been incredible. The way that they are playing the Dolphins, and they've got a huge injury list, which we'll talk about in a second, they can win the competition. It's unbelievable. No Flegler, no Gilbert, no Plath, no Kafusi, no Saifidi, no Bostock, no Kenny Bromwich. Like, that's a third of their salary cap, and they just destroyed the Rabbits last night. And you're right, some of their key positions are playing outstanding, like this man here with that pass. Herbie Farnworth, I think, is probably the best centre in the game, along with Stephen Crichton, and they are just doing it so easy. They're all doing their job.
You think they can win the comp as well, Joey? You agree?
No. Yeah. Missing too many players. And they won't finish in the top 8. Top 4. They'll finish. They're a big chance of making the top 8, but you've seen you can't win it outside the top 4.
Well, this could be the year that it happens with...
No, I still think it's no chance.
You don't think their last month of footy has been good enough as September football?
I do, but I just don't think they can win it with how many players.
Win 4 at the end against quality teams.
Yeah. Can they beat the Bulldogs, and can they beat Penrith? Can then they beat the Storm, and then could they beat Canberra? No. Too hard. It's too hard outside.
Their position's it's gonna be hard from their positions, but the way they're playing, I think they're playing as good as any.
Full strength, I reckon they could, without a doubt. But they're missing 6 really top line players, and they're still getting it done.
Even to see the blokes that step up and how tough they are, like Kurt Donahue. Like, you can put him anywhere, but when Nicarima went down, like, how good was he?
Oren Keeley.
Ray Stone.
The one thing they did really well is found some really good workers. Blokes who are no nonsense, just get out there and tackle their heart out. And then, mate, some of the speedsters they just have this ability. I think they've scored more tries than anyone outside of their half. They're consistently, as soon as they break the line, they score tries. And not many teams can do that. Pretty hard scoring from your own end. Like, they do it consistently.
Billy mentioned the extensive injury list, and they'll probably have to add another one with Nikorima going down with that hamstring injury. Do you think the fact that he grabbed it straight away, no one was around, it looked fairly nasty? They'll have to get scans, but looking at this,
terrible.
you'd think, that's probably a long time on the sideline,
It's not
right?
a strain. You see the pain in his face. So I'd imagine they're usually a 4 to 6 week injury, at least, by the look of that.
Well, that reminds me of when Ben Hunt did his. You know, no one around him, just hamstring just went.
Slowing down.
Yeah, unfortunate for Cody Nikorima because he's had a great season and he's a big part of why the Dolphins are playing the style of footy they're playing. So he'll be a huge out for them over the next little period.
So Sean O'Sullivan, he's still there. He's been sitting on the extended bench for a while. So
Avarillo, he's played a bit of 5'8".
yeah.
Trey Fuller's another injury. He's coming back from an ACL.
Right.
Yeah.
I forgot about him.
For the Rabbitohs, Cody Walker just returned and he's done his hammy as well. Again, not sure how serious it is, but...
Well, he pulled through that tackle and then you could see on his face something wasn't right.
He played on for a little bit.
He's had calves this year, he's had hamstrings.
They've had a very tough run too, injury-wise.
Geez, their forwards were ordinary. If they weren't making errors, they'll give them penalties, and if they weren't doing that, they'll missing tackles. They missed a lot of cold tackles straight through the middle. That wasn't very good.
So Wayne said after the match that they don't believe in themselves and he needs to change their mindset. But is that the genius of Wayne, just trying to take pressure off his players after...
We'd want to start. They're nearly out of...
What's going wrong for you?
Well, I didn't think their forwards contributed much at all. I just felt if it wasn't an error, it was a missed tackle. If it wasn't that, it was giving a penalty away. I just thought there was very little to be positive about. Regardless of what they did out wide and having their full backline in. Campbell Graham was rusty, missed a couple of bad reads, a couple of bad tackles, but they didn't give themselves much of a chance at all. I didn't think they just weren't competing their forwards.
That was the second match at Suncorp Stadium. The first one, another incredible crowd. It was the Broncos getting the job done over the Warriors. And once again, I mean, we spoke about Reece Walsh a little bit earlier, but so much to like about this one. These were the Wars fans doing the walk down Caxton Street. How good was that? It would have been epic to be there. And just to see the likes of Walsh, Ezra Mam, he's really finding his feet again after a month or so back. And Renault's kicking game is great. So much, once again, Joey, to like about this one.
I was really impressed with Adam Reynolds. His running game was on. His Shibasaki, he's playing well this year, considering he was a journeyman.
Yep.
But, they flexed their muscles. You can see the team and the talent. They got the Broncos. Dangerous team, just outside the top 4. And with the injuries to the Warriors, to key players, I can see them making a run for that 4th place. Once again, the young players of the Warriors, that guy there.
Tamari Mann came on. I think, obviously, with Chanel, Tamari will take up the halves positions. I miss Luke Metcalf with a couple of those explosive tries he scored. So I think Tamari, he's had a couple of really good years and mostly been forced out of the team. But I think he'll do a good job. And they've got plenty of spirit. Like they were pretty unlucky, I thought. There was a try in the 39th minute. There was a try in the second minute. They dropped literally the third ball of the game. And then I thought they had a penalty with about 10 minutes to go, which would have brought them within 6 points. And that would have put an awful lot more pressure on the Broncos. They decided to go for the try and end up throwing it out over the sideline. So I thought that was a bad decision, but I thought they were great, considering the score 18-0 at half-time. They were in the game the whole time.
Metcalf suspected ACL, Billy, which is devastating for him. But when the Dally M count went behind closed doors, he was leading. Can you quantify how big of a blow this is for the Warriors, considering how he was in the best form of his career?
Yeah, well, you don't get to that ladder position on the Dally M leaderboard by fluke. He's obviously doing a lot right. He's been playing incredibly well for the Warriors, and if that is an ACL, well, that's a huge blow for him as a young man, but a huge blow for them as a footy team. He's been their direction since Sean Johnson has left, and I don't know if they'll be able to fill that hole. Speaking of Sean Johnson, the Broncos were a little bit cheeky.
He's going to come back.
Well, the Broncos posted. They posted. Clever. You can see in our beautiful portrait there. Oh. The Broncos posted a still image of him in a. I don't know if that's AI'd.
I actually thought that was Tamari Martin out of the corner of my eye. Very handsome men.
That's quite ballsy. You're thinking, is that disrespectful? Well, posting that. Is that where you're going? Is it? I don't know. You're asking the questions. Who posted just beating his side. Yeah. The Broncos posted it. Oh, right. There you go. Food for thought, hey? Ben Hunt is also...
Still looks like he could play.
Oh, he could, yeah. No. No. He looks fit, that's all. Full stop, moving on. Ben Hunt, he's almost fit. What does he do? What does Madge do next week? Corey Cakes, Billy Walters. Leave Billy alone.
Where's the light? Just get that light in. Let's get that light in tighter.
So I think after the match, Madge, he was asked about it, and he said in that media conference, he said, oh, well, you know, Billy's going well, Corey's going well, but so are the halves.
You can't change them two. I thought them two, Pakes and Billy Walters, the last couple of weeks have been excellent.
Well,
I couldn't see him putting Ben Hunt back into 14.
Are you saying Ben doesn't come into first grade?
Yeah.
Really?
After the way both those players have played.
I disagree. I don't know who goes out, but Ben Hunt's in your footy team.
Put him in. Pakes stays at 9.
Somewhere. I don't know, but Ben Hunt's in the footy team.
I remember Manly in the 80s pick Ray Brown for start of Origin out of reserve grade.
Oh, what a story that would be. Ben Hunt, Q Cup, in there for the
straight into Origin. Saves the day.
When's he playing Q Cup? No, I'm just saying.
Leave him alone.
He doesn't know you.
He won't be able to.
This is what
the Origin
Joey
squad.
Wants to look like the hero, like he's sticking up for Billy after grilling him for hours on end.
Don't listen to him.
You can join Team Queensland.
Where's this show going?
Barrier. Anyway, I'll tell you where we are going. We're going to go to a break because we've got plenty more club footy to get through. Kyle Flanagan was great after his dad stuck up for him. The Red V getting a much-needed win over the Eels.
Sent right into Lomax. Lomax away from Gutherson. Risky ball. And now Holmes is away. Valentine Holmes on the loose ball from Parramatta. Holmes will score. No one saw that coming. And the Dragons may have won it there with 4 to go.
The match winner from Val Holmes there. It was a much-needed win for the Dragons and all the more impressive with the injuries they had. But, Joey, the big talking point coming into this was the young halves, particularly Kyle Flanagan. He'd been hammered in the media and by the fans, and his dad had said it was ridiculous and unfair. What do you like about his performance?
I think it's the best game I've seen him play in the NRL. Freddie spoke about Izzy Katoa, players playing like him. He's playing straight as a gun barrel. See him straighten the attack. In the past, I think he's been guilty of running across field too much, but straighten the attack. His running game, he ends up scoring a try when he went to the line. Look how straight he's playing. Just makes room on the outside. The straighter the halves play, the more room is on the outside. I thought he kicked really well. He always defends well. He's a really good defender. But, yeah, I thought it was a really strong performance. And Kyle, don't read the comments, mate. It's not real.
Get off your phone, bro.
Get off your phone. Don't read it. Don't read it. Listen to absolute gronks who live at home with their parents who are 55. Hello to Gary and Gail out there.
I'll see you soon.
I'll see you soon.
I'll see you this
Can you fold my underpants? I'll be home tonight. Don't listen to it. I mean, who gets on the websites or whatever it's called, social media, and hammers people? They find out who they are, take them down to trainer and then get them to run off the kick-off and let the blokes smash them. See how they go. Don't look at it, Kyle. It doesn't exist. But well done, mate. You've been under all sorts of pressure. I thought you were outstanding last night. It was a good game.
It was a good game, and particularly given...
Hello to all my friends who are 55 and live with their parents.
Their parents fold their undies.
The adversity at the start of the game
for the Dragons. They lost Christian Tuipulotu with a hamstring injury in the warm-up. Lawson had to come in. He scored a couple of tries, late inclusion, and then they had a couple of HIAs. Some
3 HIAs.
Yeah, it was an incredible performance looking at it as a whole. Look, Parramatta, they came back and they had a chance to draw level later in the game, but the Dragons, they got out of the blocks really well.
Couchman also looks like he's done a severe injury.
Yep, Leilua did his quad as well. So.
Yeah, that's a brave win. I thought Parramatta really showed their inexperience. They just got blown away. You know, a little bit hesitant. They won last week, and going down there, it's cold, and they just didn't start. They weren't there at the start. They blew them away early.
That the big play was when Fox went down the sideline and just put his pinky out. Just put it out.
They did pretty good to come back.
Good
you saw the
game.
fullback got a little bit more ball. Geez, he's a good player, the
He's a
fullback.
great player.
Oh, wow.
A great player.
Yeah,
You like him, Bill? as a
Absolutely.
fullback?
Oh, he's good.
Yep, he's a young Queensland boy from Brisbane, and he has got a really bright future. I remember him playing his first game for the Penrith Panthers. He played one game for the Panthers last year before signing with the Eels, and really caught my eye. That was the moment there.
That's it there.
It was super close.
Remember the one
No, it was
Jared
out.
Hayne
It
in
was the right
Origin?
decision. His pinky was out.
Remember the Jared
So you
Hayne one in
agree with
Origin?
Yeah.
They took that off him, didn't they? Ripped off, but anyway.
We might slow-mo that coming up. I think we do have that. But, yeah, it was just brave from the Dragons, wasn't it, considering who they didn't have, and they've lost so many tight games this season. There's been a lot of criticism. Nathan Lawson, as you mentioned, coming in, Bill, he literally had 4 minutes to prepare. 4 minutes to prepare, and he scored his...
Up against Zach Lomax.
Yeah.
I thought that was a great battle. Like, Zach had one of those games, bit rocks and diamonds,
Yeah,
had
just
some
that
brilliant
off-
moments, not so brilliant moments, but always competing. But I thought Nathan Lawson did a great job.
It was good. And there goes Val Holmes running away for the victory.
And my tip, gone.
Well, it's a bit hard to tip this year, but let's take a closer look at that split screen, because there was there's like tenths of millimetres in it with Josh Adokar down the sideline, right?
It's really how thick paint is, really.
What do you reckon?
See, the Hayne one, he's running on his toes. So that should have been awarded.
There.
So, once again...
Geez, I can't see.
Once again, the Queensland get the rub of the green.
Yeah,
It's only
That was
15 years
close.
ago.
That was close.
they were both pretty close. So what are you saying? Out or in?
Fox, out.
Fox, out.
Just. Yeah. Just.
Well, I wear glasses, so I don't know if I'm eligible to... I have to get closer
Out.
with my glasses on.
Good decision by the touchy.
Yep,
Well done.
Yeah.
well done.
Because what happens, once he puts it up, that's it. You can't go to the video ref. So he took it out of play. Brave.
Brave.
Come into your own.
Come on, kids. Look at the kids over here playing with their stuff, their stationery.
Oh, that's when we know they need a little bit of a break. Coming up shortly, we're going to talk all things NRLW. Of course, it is the Bulldogs' first year in the competition. We have two very special guests, Taylor Preston and Holly Wheeler, in the house. But
Oh, what a pass! And they score! Throws the dummy and the Cowboys score! Oh, big hit, Biddle.
What a tackle, Lutu.
Now Costa puts it in an early kick, and there's the try! Tonegano chimes in and throws the dummy back inside for Dodd! That is spectacular! Flying through the air for one of the tries of the year! Footwork from Masanga, and she's over! Koenig, and the Dalian medalist, through and out the other side. Oh, this is extraordinary! Let the new NRLW season commence.
oh, how good the time has come. The NRLW finally kicks off this Thursday night. And the best thing about season 2025, we have two new teams. Well, the Warriors are back in the competition, and the Doggies have an NRLW team. We've got two of their stars with us, Holly Wheeler and Taylor Preston. Thank you so much for coming in. How are you feeling ahead of your first game? You a little bit nervous?
Yeah, we were just saying then, I think it's kind of like our debut all over again. I know the girls are itching to get out there, so it's been been a long off-season for us, but, you know, super special to represent such a great club.
And it was right that you were a die-hard Doggies fan growing up?
Yes, that's correct. We both are, actually. We're Bulldogs fanatics. So for us, you know, we love this club, so we can't wait to wear that jersey on Friday night.
Do you reckon that makes a difference? The team you love growing up and you get to play for them?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
Someone asked me the other day what kind of an honour it is to wear this jersey for the first time, and I said it's probably one of the highlights of my career. Growing up, being a Bulldogs supporter, and Tay will speak of that, you know, it's incredible now to represent that club that I grew up, you know, we grew up supporting and loving, and it's a very, very special feeling, I guess, yeah.
So what's it like watching the first grade team at the moment, the men's team, plus their fans?
Yeah, the fans are unreal. You know, we talk about it, and there's like this aura about, you know, the club and the team at the moment. You know, the energy's infectious, and for us, you know, we look up to them, and we want to kind of replicate that in our own way, in our own style for the women's game. So, yeah, we're super excited.
What's it like? I've been out to train. You train at the same venue as the first grade team and the junior Canterbury side. The whole club's in the one area. What's that like? What's the precinct like?
Yeah, it's unreal. You walk through, and obviously you've got the history of the players that have come before you as well. So, you know, when we're training in the gym, you've got all those players that, you know, have played for the last, you know, 90 years now. So for us, it's pretty cool. And we look, you know, now we get to etch, you know, ourselves in history too, in the history books in our 90th year. So, yeah, it's pretty special.
Do you have the same calls as the men's team? Are the same calls all the way through the club for certain plays?
Yeah, look, I think what the Bulldogs are really good at is it's one club, one family. We're all going the same direction. So we're looking at, you know, making sure that we're all under the same banner. So if, you know, players are going through different grades or juniors coming through, it's all quite the same. So it's a lot easier for the players to pick up. So, you know, we're taking a lot from the Bulldogs men's team and how they're playing, and hopefully we can replicate a bit of their success there on the field for us. What's it been like for you at the moment to be doing pre-seasons like this? You're doing sort of 6 and 7 weeks now. Well, there's a time where it would have been 1 or 2 weeks, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I think Holly probably, you know, she's been a pioneer of the game since we first started, where it was probably about 2-3 weeks.
But that's the important part, isn't it? Like, I look at Isabel, like Isabel Kelly, and I go, well, she's playing better now than ever. You know, I'm assuming a lot of the ladies who have been in for quite a while, they're actually getting better because I'm assuming the training.
100%. The first year in 2018, it was a 4-week pre-season for 4 weeks games, you know, so to see now that it's 8 weeks, we've got 12-week comp plus, you know, finals and things like that. So it shows that when we've got the time and the commitment and the resources, how much better the game goes. So hopefully in the not too near future, we're going to have, you know, that more professional full-time aspect, and it'll be exciting to see how great the game goes from there.
Yeah.
Holly, you're, as Taylor mentioned, one of the pioneers and the veterans of the game.
Very polite too.
one of the old gals. I won't say old gals, but as one of the experienced heads, what keeps you coming back every year? Why do you love it so much, and how long do you think you will keep going for?
As Tay said, like, we grew up Bulldogs supporters, but not just Bulldogs supporters, but football supporters. My brothers played, my father played, and that was normal. Like, that's, if we weren't at home watching the footy, we were in the backyard playing footy. Being older, coming up, women couldn't play, or girls could play till they're about 12, I think. And then you couldn't play again. And, you know, it took 10, 15 years later, and Kylie Hilda was, you know, saying that she was going to come down and play in Newcastle in the Sydney comp, and I couldn't say yes quick enough, like, get me in the car, get me there. You know, I want to play, and this has been such a part of my childhood, and now to sort of get the opportunity. I was 27 when I started playing, and do the math, I'm a bit older now, but, you know, I'm playing it because it's like my inner child screaming at me, like, this is, you know, this is my dream come true, and as long as the body's holding up, I'll keep doing it, and just want to keep giving back to the game that I love and has given me so much of my childhood.
Up against the Knights, round 1, what are you expecting there?
Yeah, I think, you know, they've been elite team in the competition for a number of years now. I know they've got 2 grand finals under their belt. But for us, you know, I guess Jessie Southwell is a key component of their team. They've lost quite a few experienced players as well, but we know they're going to be up for the fight. But, you know, I guess we see it as an inaugural team. You know, we love that challenge that we get to verse in round 1, and we're super excited for them. And, you know, they've got a key number of players within that team that have, you know, played representative level now as well. So, you know, we'll be doing video review this week on, you know, who we need to be watching, but also just focusing on ourselves, you know, and making sure we do our roles.
You got a new coach too?
Yeah, new coach, Braden Williami. Yeah, he was.
How is he?
Yeah, he's great. He's a legend. He's such a genuine person, and I know all of us girls, you know, we can't wait to play for him. And it's actually great. He's got such great knowledge of the game because he's only fresh, you know, not that far out of the game. And for us, we love that, you know, we can kind of tap into that a bit more. And he's got experience from different clubs, different systems. So, you know, he's got us playing a really cool style of footy, and yeah, we're super excited.
Taylor, at the Sharks, in just their second year as well, they were able to make a grand final. So can you see the building blocks that you saw at the Sharks as well, that the Bulldogs are putting together, that success can come early like it did for the Sharkies?
Yeah, definitely. I think for us, we see it as why not set the bar high? And, you know, we've got such a talented group of girls here, and, you know, we're building something special, and we can feel that at training each and every week. So for us, we want to set that bar high, and I think Broncos are the only team to win a grand final, be in the grand final in their inaugural season. So for us, we see it as why can't we do that as well? Well,
one of the important parts of the game is kicking, and you're the kicker. That's, you know, one of the things that steers you out from a lot of the girls is, you know, you look very comfortable kicking. How much do you do in the pre-season, and how much has it grown since you've started playing?
Yeah, it's been massive. For me, you know, I try to do a lot of kicking before and after training as well. But, you know, I guess I've had a lot of people help me throughout the years. And, you know, we did a recent session with Josh Reynolds as well. So just giving us tips. You know, I'm a bit of a sponge with rugby league, and I want to keep getting better. And, you know, for me, if I can kick that ball down there and make sure, you know, I'm helping out my middles any way I can, you know, for me, I just want to keep challenging myself and, you know, set up some nice tries.
You're a bit modest there, Tay. Like, she does. She works really hard on it. She's got a natural gift with her boot, and you know, she's putting in those extras, those 1%. She's asking, like she said, she's a sponge. So it's not a fluke what she does on the field. She's practicing that day in and day out.
That's a big part. Like, the thing that where I think the game was behind is the kicking, and then the other side of that is the catching. And you just see some of the girls just don't look that comfortable still at the moment. I know one of the big things in our game changed in the early 90s, and they had kicking machines. And I remember Brett Mullins one year, Canberra had it first. They were always at the start of innovation. And, mate, he in like the 94 season, I think.
So that's one of those things.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like the gridiron thing.
And the difference was amazing. Just being able to catch the ball on the fly and having the confidence. You know, just being able to do reps. I think that's something the women's game should definitely be investing in. But you see them, like, the girls look nervous a lot, don't they?
Yeah, I think sometimes, yeah, you can see girls are a bit nervous, and you know, I guess as a player, you're looking for that and looking for your kicking targets.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think, you know, the more practice you do and the reps you do at training, you know, it's going to pay off and it's going to pay dividends.
Other than the Dogs, who wins?
Who are you all
this
chasing?
year?
Roosters.
Yeah, look, Roosters definitely.
Or Broncos. I think Broncos.
Broncos, yeah.
Yeah, I think
Tamika's back at the Broncos, so that's huge. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that'll be massive. So I think those two are going to be powerhouses in the NRL.
How was her injury? She tore a glute, didn't she, in the Origin?
The Origin
Do you know
one,
how
yeah.
she is?
I'm not too sure, actually. I haven't.
Okay.
You're the current affair reporter. We might get you onto that, okay?
You might need to find out for us.
Tamika, I'll send you, I don't know, what do you
Don't.
Send you a message on YouTube and find out. Is that what he's doing?
DMs.
Yeah, DMs.
Holly Taylor.
Sliding.
Don't be sliding into anyone's DMs. You'll get in trouble. We love the passion you have for this jersey. Thank you so much for coming in. Good luck. I know Joey won't wish you luck against the Knights, but good luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Guys.
Thank you so much.
Of course, it wasn't a great night for the Doggies NRL side against the Panthers. 4 in a row for the Premiers. We're going to relive all of the highlights from that epic match after the break. See you in a sec. The match of the year so far, 8-6 on Thursday night. The 4-time defending Premiers are back in the top 8. That is now 4 wins in a row for them over the Bulldogs, who were at the top of the table. Freddie, there was so much to like about this one.
Well, you know what? It was one of those games where the defence was a highlight. I mean, Billy highlighted early some of the try saves. That was the first tackle of the game. Daniel Slugas for feeder. He was off within a tackle, so that hurt the interchange towards the end of the game, and especially around Reid Marnie, having him going back on. He's nearly lost that opportunity, but just a brilliant game. And what it was, they just turned up. The fans turned up. I've got to say that it was spectacular sitting down on the sideline, just the intensity of the game, and then this was the difference. Once again, he found a way.
And you just described it as the game of the year, and there was 2 tries scored, one from either side. Like that's the quality of what was happening in between the 2 try lines, and they really raised the bar. These 2 footy teams. You got a team like the Penrith Panthers that have won the last 4 competitions, and then the Bulldogs have just gone from here up to here, and they've been leading the competition the whole year until the weekend, and that was just the standard of the footy and the flow of the game, the intensity of the game. And it took a moment from Nathan Cleary to go after it, and he can do it in so many different ways. We spoke about him off the top of the coverage, and he just understands what to do at certain moments. And he's got so many things that he can do: pass, kick, run. He come up with a moment, a charge down moment, which he's not noted for, but he thought that's the right play for this moment in the game, and he got the job done for his team.
He bluffed him, because if Burton looks outside, it ends up being like a 4 or 5 on 2, but you just got him.
Do you think Toby Sexton going to dummy half and then Galvin coming on, so then all the long kicking end up going to Burton? Burton, ball to foot, takes quite a while. I didn't think Sexton looked that comfortable at dummy half.
I didn't think it was too bad. I think I actually spoke to Cameron Sherraudo, and he said, he was pretty happy with how it was. He said the interchange hurt, the early interchange, obviously, because you lose the HIA because he doesn't come back on the field. That changes your thinking on your interchange through the middle. They haven't got massive middles either, so that they do need to swap them through. But no, I think that works all right. Mate, Galvin coming on, he opens everyone up. He goes from side to side to side, chases the ball. He'll be the difference in the big games. If they get to the big games, he just creates so many more opportunities for them.
So we looked at the next 5 games for Penrith. They get the bye, then they play 4 of the teams down the bottom of the table. So you'd think there's 10 points there.
Here we are.
Depending how they pull up after Origin.
I think they're sounding the alarm right now. There's a Panthers alarm being sounded in the competition. And I look at what they've done already. Like, they're sitting in 7th position, so there's 6 teams ahead of them. They're yet to play the Canberra Raiders. They've beaten the Broncos, the Roosters and the Warriors, and they went down by 6 points to the Melbourne Storm, scoring 5 tries each. They're sounding an alarm. Their young players are getting better. Their Origin players off a rest from Origin, they played the house down on the weekend. I just think they're really priming themselves for the right time of the year. They've been a consistent team over the last 4 years. This year, I think they'll hit their straps at the right time of the year. This young Jesse McLean, he's a star. I think he really stood up to Stephen Crichton. I thought it was a great battle. And I just think if they stay injury-free towards the end of the year, they'll play their best footy at the right time of the year. They're going to do that, that's for sure.
Well, no one's put off the Dogs. Other than the game, they got beat convincingly by, I think, the Dolphins, and then they had all their players out.
Broncos first half.
The Broncos first half. But Penrith, the way they play, completing high. I mean, the Bulldogs towards the end started looking for offloads a bit too much, thinking offload instead of running hard. Like, their mindset changed a little bit. They try to create tries, and I haven't seen them this year change their mentality. And that was the first time. It just shows you it took Penrith to, play a pretty good style of footy to do it. So they would have learned as much out of this as the Penrith side, I reckon.
They get so much out of Brian To'o and Dylan Edwards. They're the 2 other front rowers. And they just complete high, 90%. You said the worst over the last month's maybe at 86%.
86, yeah. When all their players are in, 86.
Just get through their sets and stay in the fight. They just stayed. They were wobbling there for 50, 60 minutes, but they just stayed in the fight, and then Nathan Cleary stands up. The player they missed the most, I went and did some homework, believe it or not, and when Mitch Kenny's not there, that's when they've struggled this year. 64 tackles? He does so much work. I think he's a bit of a key for him too, how much work he does.
They're back, baby. 4 in a row for the Panthers. They were good to watch. But I tell you what, the Friday night games were epic as well. Not so much if you're a Knights fan, but the Sea Eagles got the job done. A much-needed win with pressure on their coach, Turbo in the centres, and then up in the Hunter. The Raiders got the job done, and Jed Stewart over for his first try in the NRL. See you in a sec.
And it's a golden one for the first try.
Nice ball from Tom Trbojevic, and that's the lane that Jason Saab needs to touch down. On the money to Jason Saab, and he finishes it for the Manly Seagulls.
Welcome back to the Sunday Footy Show. What a win for the Seagulls, 28-10, and a much-needed one for them. It's been a big few weeks, lots of talk about Turbo and the centres and pressure on their coach. Anthony Seibold said that Turbo is going to stay in the centres. Do you like it, Joey?
Well, Lehigh was really good at fullback. I thought he still looked a little bit ginger with his body, Turbo. But I see comments over the weekend, he said, whatever's best for the team, I'll do. So that's the person he is.
And that's the most important thing. At the end of the day, you're in a team environment. You do whatever is best for the footy team. And if the coach thinks that that's your best position for this footy team, well, you do it. And Tom, we all know he's a great guy. He's a team-first guy, and he'll do whatever it takes to get the best out of his team. He set up the first try, to Saab there, this moment here. So, and the other thing he did, he wandered around the field. Yeah. He went to the other side. He went looking for the ball. He's not foreign to that position.
Well, he looked foreign in defence a couple of times, but he'll work that out. I think they sort of went at him, and that was a beautiful play by play where Safar scored. But he'll work that out. And I think, like you said, he went to the other side. He played a part in one of the tries they scored. And I think as their game establishes more, I think he becomes a real threat. And I've got to applaud the coach, And his head's on the line at the moment. They're sort of out of the 8 and they're not going that fantastic. They've lost their captain and he's made a big call and I think it worked. I think Lehigh under the ball, he made a couple of errors, so he needs to sort that out. And once he does, the other part of his games is fantastic. So I think it's all round they did a great job. The first half was a bit of a bludger really, but the second half they were slick, they looked good.
And I don't know if it'll be forever. It might be for the next month. Coming into semi-finals, they hit a bit of form. You put Tom back at fullback, all of a sudden they can catch fire. At the start of the year, they were one of the form teams of the competition. So they've got it in them. They're just not playing their best at the moment, and Anthony Seibold's trying a few things to get the best out of them.
Well, I'll tell you who's looking good at the moment. The Raiders, they have won 11 from their last 12. They're now at the top of the ladder. I do have to apologise, Jed Stewart. That was your second try in the NRL. Unlike Joey, I didn't do my homework today. But Billy, probably what's most impressive for Ricky Stewart is the fact that even though they're at the top of the ladder, they're probably still not the finished product and still have more gears left in them.
Absolutely. The most impressive thing I like about Canberra is they are doing it their way. They're running hard, they're offloading the ball, they're not scoring your conventional tries. I think Kai Weeks is having a great season following some of the offloaders in this green team. This young Strange, he's a real player, and they're powerful, they're athletic, and they're all contributing to their footy team at the moment. There's an environment they're building down in Canberra, and that man's heading it. Ricky Stewart, they're doing a great job.
We've seen it first on the weekend. 3 players score in front of their daddy, and that's not Donald Trump. It's Jed Stewart, Nathan Cleary and Kyle Flanagan. Lovely to see. Yeah, good would it be to be your dad on the sideline coaching and watch your son score a try. That would be cool.
In front of your
daddy.
Need to get that on repeat. Oh, goodness. I tell you what else was very good, whether it was in front of your daddy or not, but the offloading from the Raiders, how good was that? Like the power game through the middle. Papali'i and Tapani, the offloads they've got in them, and then those fast, explosive outside backs. It's so good to watch.
I love the way they play. They play different to every other team. They've got that power game, and then they get their shifts off the offloads. And when it's on, when it sticks, you can't stop them. They just play different to every other team. So well done to Ricky. He's got a game plan which suits his team.
Well, the Raiders scored 3 tries in the first half. 2 of them were off offloads. That was the difference, is actually being confident enough to play your style of football and support your teammate. And this one here, this was a beautiful offload. Zach Hosking and Kai Weeks, he is always there at the moment.
The worry for the Knights, Kalen won't play again this year. Fletcher Sharp, I doubt, will play again this year. Running in, they play 3 teams out of the top 4 and 4 teams from 4th to 8th, and the last game is Parramatta. I think they've got 2 byes to go, but it's going to be a challenge moving. I think they've signed Jake Arthur, didn't they, over the weekend?
Whisper, is it confirmed?
I think
it was. Well, you know. Yes, it is. It's confirmed.
It wasn't a whisper, it was a megaphone. So he'll add some depth in the halves there, but I'd say Dane Gagai will play fullback, but moving forward, it's going to be a challenge.
It's going to be tough without those 2 sparks. You got Sharp and Ponga. They've been the shining light for the Knights this year.
Tough run for the Knights, but one of their legends joins us coming up next on the award-winning segment, Turn It Up. The great Billy Peden is in the house, also an ambassador for the Mark Hughes Foundation. And What an incredible weekend it has been so far, the 9th annual Beanie for Brain Cancer Round, and our work is not done yet as the NRL community rallies, all in the name of hope.
All wearing the beanies in Beanies for Brain Cancer Round.
Hope. It's ever present.
Huge round for Rugby League, Mark Hughes Foundation.
Powerful.
A special weekend.
It's what we trust. What we believe in. Something we can't see. But we all carry. It's what brings us together no matter what.
Burton! He's in! Threw it over! No one gave him a chance.
And we'll never lose it.
He's done it!
Hope is what gets us through.
Halfway!
Makes us all believe that on any given day, anyone can win.
Look at the crowd!
This Beanie for Brain Cancer Round, hope is driving us to do more. When you buy a beanie, you wear hope. Hope to make a difference. Despite the odds, we will never lose hope for a cure. Because in this fight against brain cancer, with hope, we'll always have a chance.
Always, I just got scared. So you wanna be a champion?
Welcome to Turn It Up, and we've got a special guest, one of Cessnock's finest, Billy Peden. Thanks for coming on, Bill.
Thanks for having me, Joe.
Growing up in a mad rugby league town like Cessnock and your dad owning the best pub in town, we actually spent a lot of time together, believe it or not. Gary used to spend a lot of time at Peden's Hotel. But growing up in a pub in Cessnock, what was that like?
Yeah, probably not your usual upbringing, Joe. You know, we heard a lot of fights out the window and maybe a few domestic arguments from down the street up in my bedroom at 10:30 at night when Dad wasn't coming home and Mum was coming to pick him up. So, yeah, it was an interesting childhood, put it that way.
And playing for the Goannas? Because you didn't come to the Knights till you were 24?
Yeah, in the off-season of 94.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I was 23 turning 24 when I first got to the Knights. I'd played 5 full seasons.
With Cessnock?
Senior grade. We came last for 4 and second last for the 5th. So it was a nice thing to go back to the Knights.
Was it always footy as a boy?
Yeah, it was always footy. I loved it, you know. I loved the game. I loved the camaraderie, just the whole thing.
What did you like about going to the NRL? What did you like about going to the Knights?
Well, it was just refreshing, you know, to go amongst a bunch of people that were really focused on winning and performing, you know. We'd been local footy, you know, so everyone knows how much you can enjoy local footy. But to go to that other environment where it's next level, where it's all about excellence, and got blokes like him expecting excellence all the time, you know, and demanding it. So it was good to go to that.
I spoke to a player when they left footy, and he said that was the thing that they missed most, was going to a work environment where people are like highly motivated. And he said that's what you don't sort of get a lot of the time outside of footy. So what are you doing now? Like what's filling that gap?
Yeah, I work at the coal loader, so which is a blue collar industry, which outside of the footy bubble, you actually get to hear the health of the game, you know what I mean? Like, people will tell you the truth, how they think it is, you know. Everyone understands gamesmanship and all that sort of stuff, but the laying down, trying to get penalties and that, the average Joe hates that, you know what I mean? Like, and so do I. But, you know, like I say, understand it and understand why they do it, but just wish they wouldn't.
We lived together for a while in the mid-90s. We had some rules in the house. I think we were both injured.
Yeah.
We got a chin-up bar and said, righto, if anyone opens the fridge, you've got to do 10 chin-ups. When we're on the sip, having a beer, mate, the next day my back was... Billy goes, your shout. They were fun times.
They were good times, mate. We enjoyed it. It was hard work, but, yeah, we enjoyed ourselves as well. So
You talk about the camaraderie, and I don't know, there's something about the Newcastle group, and especially through your era, a really connected group. You obviously do some stuff with Mark Hughes and his foundation now, and what is it about that group of men?
Oh, I think footy breeds that, and it's not just Newcastle. You know, like the game demands that you be mates. You can't do it. It's too hard to do if you don't love it and you don't love the people you're doing it with. You know? If you're to be a mercenary and do it, it's too hard. You know, so you got to love what you're doing.
Do you reckon because we all lived close to each other? I think we're in Sydney. You sort of live here, there, and everywhere.
I think it really helps, and it really helps you do that. Yeah, like if someone's going for a beer or someone's going for coffee. You know, everyone's within 15 minutes. You know, there's not someone out the Shire or to get to St George or whatever. You know, it's that geographically makes it easier. But you also have to like the people too. You know, we were lucky in that era. We were all pretty good mates. You know, so and quite a few of us still great mates now. You know, we just did a walk and Adam Muir was there and all those boys. You know, so Hughesy came for a day. So it's excellent to be part of.
And you've been right behind the Mark Hughes Foundation. Every year they do a trek. Kokoda, Everest, Kilimanjaro, all that. You've pretty much done every one, Bill.
I've done pretty close. The why is, you look at one of your mates and he's in the fight of your life. Like we just spoke about camaraderie and footy. He's in the fight of his life. How do you do nothing? You know, so he asked me to be an ambassador for the foundation, so I'll do whatever I can to help him out. And seeing some of the stories, you're looking on the screen there, see some of the people that are walking, and through the foundation you meet these people that have brain cancer and the journeys and what they have to go through and their families have to go through. We've got to do something about it, you know what I mean? It's, you know, it gets very little government funding, so it's up to the everyday Joes to get out and do their best. And like I say, we go to Mount Everest, we go to Kilimanjaro, we do all that. And people pay for that themselves. They pay it out of their own pocket and they get people to donate money. It takes their leave, you know, so they're sort of sacrificing time with their families to do that for people fighting brain cancer.
97 grand final, you played out of position, you actually played hooker. And then in 2001, you scored 2 tries. That must have been sensational.
Yeah, like it was interesting, the whole hooker thing, you know. Brett Clements got injured, I think, just before the final. And Malcolm came up to me and he said, "Oh, what do you think about playing hooker?" I said, "You know, I'd probably prefer to stay in the second row where I've been sort of enjoying it." And he said, "Oh, I'm not asking if you're playing hooker." So.
And then this one, Bill?
This one was just, you know, I suppose when you're a kid playing footy in the backyard, that's the stuff you dream of, isn't it? You know, like scoring a try, well, the first try in a grand final and actually winning the game, you know. So to get another one sort of topped it off a bit.
It's hard to talk about yourself when you're so humble. Joey, I'll ask you, what about Billy playing alongside someone like Bill, an unsung hero of the team that probably doesn't get the accolades, you know, publicly that he deserves?
Well, Bill set the standard at training. Every time we trained, Billy set the standard, and then Billy set the standard on the field. If someone needed to be whacked, you used to whack them. You'd give away. You'd only played at 88 kilos.
Yeah,
or when we'd weigh in at training, Billy used to take sinkers in his pocket. Oh, look, I'm 91 kilos.
That's a true story, because they said you had to be 100 kilos to play first grade, and I was struggling to get to 90. And I'm going, mate, I'm no chance here.
Yeah, but Bill set the standard on the training paddock, on the field, and then whenever we get together, Billy was always organising it. And it's something you used to do now. The boys still get together. Chief, Mark Hughes, Danny Badeiras, the Gidley boys.
Yeah.
You all get together. Crusher Crow.
You
all get in the morning and train and then go have breakfast. How important still having that connection with the team?
It's huge. It's great for everyone's mental health. You know, I think that's something that people forget to talk about sometimes when you finish footy. That loss of camaraderie and that to get together and actually physically train as well. Not just get together and have a coffee or a beer or whatever. To actually get out, get the endorphins, get into the ocean, do stuff like that. It's incredibly good for your mental health. You know.
Now you've got some family members that are actually hanging out with footy players as well, haven't you?
Yes, I have. Yeah. I was just wondering what I did to deserve that. Yeah. No.
How's that like, having that connection to the team at the moment?
No, it's really good actually. It's young Phoenix Crossland is a hooker and been playing lock the last couple of weeks for the Knights. He's a great young kid. Really come along in the last couple of years and matured and turned into a great young kid and great young man, I should say, really, and probably one of the leaders in the team at the moment. So, you know, he just played his 100th game on the weekend. Unfortunately, it wasn't a win for him, but yeah, he's been really coming on. So
I remember he told myself and Danny Badeiras, I'm starting to go with Billy's daughter. We went, "Come here, mate. You know Billy's a thrashing machine. And just make sure you do the right thing."
No, I haven't had to do anything like that, mate. He's been good, so it's...
What about the current team? They obviously mean so much to the Newcastle area and the Hunter. Going through a bit of a tough time at the moment.
Yeah, it's been a tough time for a long time, Billy, to be fair. You know, we've made, the last couple of years, we've made runs to get into the semis, but as Andrew will tell you, we live and breathe the club. It's super important to us and the community, you know, and when the team's going well, the community has a really good feel. So, yeah, we are in tough times, but, you know, look at the last 3 games. We probably should have beat the Roosters. There was some contentious calls there from the video ref, and beat the Dolphins, who had been putting 50 on everyone weeks leading up to that, and then to go within the try of the current leaders, it's, you know, it's probably maybe not as bad as it sounds, but with the injuries, it's going to be a tough job on the
Our spiritual leader, and always will be, Paul Harrigan, Chief. Tell us about playing with Chief.
Oh, he just loved it. He was like everyone's big brother. You know, if one of us got in strife, he was the one. You know, he'd come and sort it out for us.
Pull the cat.
You pull
the cat's tail, you get the whole cat.
You get the whole expletive cat. You know, there was some, and he used to get those big hands, and he'd be like, "This is what's going to happen." You know, and it was like, "Whoa, how do you not follow him?"
97, you were playing hooker. You were in the scrum with him and Spud.
Yeah, we were in the front row.
Him and Butsy.
Yeah.
Butsy.
Yeah.
We had Tony Butterfield every scrum. He used to just get there and get your head that close and just go doink.
Yeah, it used to sound like a watermelon. Like, boom, hollow watermelons.
Get close, Billy. We're going to headbutt this bloke. Imagine if that went on now.
I'm glad that's not me. Yeah.
And you watch them now; they just come in so soft.
Yeah, the game's changed, and like even to the point where I didn't play a lot of hooker, but you'd put one arm around and keep the other one out just in case. You know, like, you never went over like that because you're open.
And Adam Muir, one of our mates, he had 2 knee replacements, and he did the walk.
Yeah, a couple of years ago, 2 knee replacements, but, you know, prepared to go and walk 150 k's for his mate, you know, who's suffering from brain cancer. So, mate, there's so many stories of people doing extra for people in the fight of their life, and then literally in the fight of their life.
Mark Hughes obviously giving hope to so many families. How's he going himself?
He's good. Yeah, he's tremendous, really, considering it. You know, you look at the stats, it's the biggest killer of people cancer killer of people under 40 and kids under 10. You know, and 8 out of 10 people don't live longer than 5 years. So Mark's coming up towards 10 now. So that's a pretty awesome achievement for him. But I think there's a bit of magic in that. You know, maybe there's a reason that he's got it, is that he can help other people, and we'll get to the point where we can find a cure.
How's your body? You played pretty hard.
Yeah, it's actually pretty good, Freddie. I don't know why. I think I've got a theory, maybe because I was pretty small and you just glance off people, you know, where the big boys
you didn't
just
glance off my rib, mate. my rib still sticks out because of you.
Yeah, you can blame him for that. He used to wind me up all the time.
He'd defend inside. Billy, here comes Freddie, break his ribs.
I come charging down the blind side, straight out, going for Joey. He just caved me, and I just remember going, "Oh!" And then my rib just has never been stuck out ever since.
There was a funny one day. We were playing against Brisbane, and Big Gordon was just giving it to Matty on that edge all day, and I thought, I've had enough of this. I had a gut full of Gordy torturing me mate Matty. So I come flying across and I blindsided him. I got half a decent shot on him, and as soon as I did it, I went, "Oh no, what have I done? What have I done?" And honestly, he was like a big tiger just walking behind. I was saying to Benji, "Get me the ball. I've got to get this over and done with. It's getting worse. It's getting worse by the second." Yeah, he got hold of me, spun me around, smashed me on the ground. He was stuttering. He was that angry. He said, "That's one apiece." I said, "Righto, mate. We'll call it a draw."
We'll call it a draw. But you played everywhere. When you started, you played on the wing even.
I played a couple of minutes. I've played a couple of minutes in every position in first grade.
You played in the halves there at some stage?
Yeah, a couple of trials. I think you got injured against Parra, ended up in 5'8". Played in the centre a couple of times.
Front row, back row, hooker, lock.
Yeah. So
everyone loved playing with you. Who did you like playing with? Who was some of the players that you enjoyed?
Of course, loved playing with Joe, because, you know, if you tackled someone or got a good shot on someone, he was behind just whooping and whopping and carried on. You know, it was like your mates just down the park, just ripping in and having fun. You know, but obviously Chief, Butsy, Adam Muir. But I always loved playing with
Matthew.
Matthew.
Say Matthew.
Yeah, well, Matthew actually taught me how to run holes. Really, Matthew. So I loved playing with Matty, but he used to torture us all the time as well with his pranks. But I love playing with Paul Marquette. He was just,
he was great.
He was one of those guys, very unsung hero, but anything that needed to be done, he'd do for the team. You know, he was just awesome. And I remember tipping on a ball to him one day against Manly in '95 to get into the game to go in the grand final. And Ian Roberts came out of line. It was a muddy day and absolutely hammered him. I thought I killed him. I thought, I've killed Pepe. And he's stuck in the mud like that, and he just got up like a robot, like nothing happened. I went, oh my God, he's the toughest bloke I've ever seen.
Machine. Well, thanks for coming down, Bill, and thanks so much for what you do for the Mark Hughes Foundation. And yeah, it was a good chat, mate.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Cheers, mate.
Yeah.
Stay with us after the break. More of the Sunday Footy Show. Pepe.
Welcome to the passing competition, so no bloody arguments, you understand? Don't foot fault there, Greenie. And a 10. No pressure, Luke. This is one of the more important things that happens here on a Sunday, understand? Oh, beautiful. Rounds of applause.
Welcome to another edition of Freddie's Pass Off. Some special guests from the Gosford Carryong Storm. We've got Ella, Eli, Harley and Dale. So they're all pumped and ready to go, Freddie.
How's the club going?
Good.
Good?
Boosted numbers in the last 2 years. We've nearly doubled, so it's fantastic.
Okay. What does the club mean to you?
Means a lot. My kids are there. I've got my youngest who's under 5s this year. He's just started. Great community, be part of. You know, it's more than just footy.
The mighty Storm. Any Storm supporters amongst us? Yeah?
Oh, yes.
Who's your favourite of all time?
Cameron Smith. Pappenhausen.
Yeah, you got the hairdo for it.
Nice mullet.
Balu came through your club, is that right?
Yep.
How good. Now, Bill, you're going to go first, so you're going to set the standard for the kids and show us why you've still got it, all
I
right?
haven't got it. That's
yes,
the
you
thing.
do.
You can't lose what you never had.
We've got to get the balls.
You're doing this for all the trekkers, all right? It's been a big
Gotta get 'em
weekend
back
for
to
you already.
Freddie.
Come
Coming
on.
straight from the Duck's
So you've got
nuts.
30 seconds each side.
How many times do you reckon you train half cut?
Too many.
Here
Come
we go.
on, Bill.
3, 2,
1.
Yeah, Bill.
Go.
Here we go.
Yo.
Close.
Come on, Andre.
Yes,
There
that's
you
it,
got to help
Bill.
me.
And again.
2 in a row.
Come on,
Yeah, Bill.
Good
Keep going.
game
On a
now.
roll.
Yo.
4.
Oh, he's found his rhythm.
Yeah,
Yo.
Freddie.
5. Still got it.
Yep. Oh, good work. Yep.
Ready.
Go.
Keep throwing, mate.
6.
Keep throwing,
Nice,
Bill.
Bill.
Trying to go to throw.
7.
Ready.
Go quick. Go quicker.
You can still play, Bill.
How long?
5.
Yeah.
4. 3.
Let's go.
2.
That's on the Joey.
That's the breakfast one.
Go.
Swap
Go,
sides.
Bill. I'll tell you when the last one, Bill.
That's it.
Yes.
I've already done one over the top.
Yeah, over here, mate.
Yeah.
I'll do it again.
I saw it. I'll tell you when the last one.
Let's go.
Yo.
15
Got to
seconds,
throw
Bill.
more, Bill. Get that core working, brother. Get that core going.
He's out of breath.
Steel.
Oh, yeah.
7.
He's back. He's been
6. 5.
I was a front rower.
3.
Two more. Let's go.
2.
One more.
4. Yes.
Yeah, hey, well, something
do
happened
you
while he's thrown that over the top.
Why is that?
Why'd you throw it over the top?
My mate Stu's going to shout all the trekkers at lunch if I threw one over the top. So
Laundy.
shout out to Stu Laundy.
Yes.
And a quick hi to Axel back in Newcastle.
Stealing on.
Axel.
256. Quick hello to who, did you say?
Yeah, Axe back at Redhead.
Okay, there we go. 256 for you. Good stuff. Okay.
Not bad, not bad.
Who's we've got?
Who's up?
Eli and Harley sharing. 30 seconds each side. Okay. Who's going first?
You're up there.
Eli.
Pass on the white.
Eli, you first.
Sure if I should be doing that, but anyway.
Let's go. 30 seconds each side. Straight in. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
Bit lower.
Yo.
There you go.
Bit lower.
Go, Eli.
There we go.
Yes. Good stuff, Eli.
Your footwork going.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Ready.
Come on, Owen.
Good
Do
job.
it. Hands
You've
out your
got
pocket, Owen.
Be
Come on, buddy.
quicker. Nice.
That's a boy.
15 to go.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
180.
10 seconds, Eli.
Oh, here we
That's
go.
it.
Fire
Down the rhythm.
There we go.
Pappenhausen's watching
Can't
you.
miss now.
Yeah.
Just as I said it. Just as I said it.
3, 2,
Bill.
1.
Your side,
Go,
your
go,
side.
go. Who's
Go in,
next?
Harley. Go.
Harley's
Go.
Up the
There we
side,
go.
mate. Turn.
There we go.
Go.
Go, yes,
the way.
Harley. Nice.
Ready?
Oh,
Go.
Here
yeah.
we go.
Got to throw quicker, Harley. Quicker, mate. That's it.
That's it.
Throw it.
Oh,
There you go.
yes.
Quicker, mate. Quicker.
That's
Got
it.
this.
Come on, Harley.
That's
There you
it.
Yo.
Pro. Harley's done this before.
Oh, look.
10 seconds,
Can't miss.
Harley.
Can't miss.
You're in front.
Ready. Down.
Sabotage. Oh.
Double catch.
3, 2,
Yeah, one more.
Oh, yeah.
There we go.
Oh, yes.
We're going to play
Good
for the
stuff.
Knights next week.
Well done, guys.
Bring it in,
Let's go,
kids.
mate.
Good stuff. Bring it in. Coming close.
The 8th being.
Accounting upstairs. Drum roll, please. Going to count how many Eli and Harley got as a pair. 291.
291.
Which is a pretty good. So a round of applause for the special guest from the Storm. Good stuff. We're going to have the leaderboards after the break, but you did a great job. So thanks for coming in. Bill, thank you to you as well.
Thank you. Thanks for
We
having me,
love
guys.
everything you do and a great ambassador for the MHF Foundation. Plenty more to come here on the Sunday Footy Show. See you shortly.
Oh, that would have been good. Oh! Chaos.
Welcome back. Here are the leaderboards. Oh, I've just ended up in that shot. Too excited. The Gosford Carry Young Storm. That was a
Can't
very
hide in that orange
close
suit either.
Good stuff. Eli and Harley pairing up there, and the great Billy Peden was sitting at about.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
Got Haslam.
Haslam still at the top. Good stuff, Bill. We should have rigged it so Bill could get at the top. Anyway, we love you, Haslam, as well. But we do have a match to get on to this afternoon. The Cowboys and the Titans, live and free from 3 p.m, both coming off losses, so both will need a response this week. Who are we tipping, starting with you, Brad Fittler?
Start of the week, Cowboys. Today, Titans.
That was a quick tip.
That's it.
Cowboys, Cotter back, Bruce Robson back. I think they win just. High-scoring game. It'll be a good game. Really good game.
Yeah, I think Cowboys, their last 2 performances, they've lost 100 to 12.
Oh.
So they need a big turnaround, but I think they've got it in them.
Is that attitude, is that not being familiar then with the, because they've had lots of people come in and out, is it that?
I don't think it's any one thing. I think it's a lot of things.
Yeah, 50's a lot.
Attitude.
Yeah.
There's a lot going wrong.
Can you turn it
Especially
around in 1 week?
3 weeks in a row. Well, they get all their players back. They've got a good excuse. They made a change in their halves, bring Clifford back. Purdue will go back to the centres. So I feel like the familiarity with those
Can you spell that
positionings.
too?
Nope, not even going to try to say it again. I think that'll work for them. That coffee's still in my mouth. There's a lot going on in my brain at the moment.
ADHD and coffees. That's really good.
What a good combo.
Oh, okay. All right. Senior Sec, he needs another coffee. We're going to wrap it up shortly.
What a team.
A big shout out to Ash Semmons, who was our special guest during Anzac Round, the Navy SEAL diver. He has just completed the English Channel swim backwards. So just to put into context how difficult it is, so around 6,000 people have climbed Mount Everest, only 2,000 have managed to achieve what he did and swim the English Channel.
Then, of course, his head hit the sand.
Yes. Great insight.
They had the flags up.
Great insight. Well done. Love your work. Very, very
Great
proud
job.
of you.
Well done,
Special episode of 100% Footy tomorrow night from 9 p.m. Of course, we'll have the Origin squad announcement, so we're going to chat to Billy and Laurie Daly as well. Gus, Cam and Gow are on as usual to go at it, so very much looking forward to that. Bill, appreciate you letting us grill you as always, so enjoy the week.
Will do.
We'll just talk about you behind your back this time.
I love you didn't say good luck.
No, good luck.
You didn't say good luck.
I'm neutral as a host, so I'm neutral.
Come off it.
New South Wales.
Come off it.
You got to stick with your team.
Yeah, please.
Good luck, Bill.
Okay.
Not
I've
for this
been told
game.
it's time to go. No, go New South Wales, but Billy, still do love you. See you at 3 p.m. for the footy.
You're